I am telling this story to emphasise how compulsory treatment in psychiatric hospital can actually be a barrier to forming trusting relationships between staff and service users. Trusting relationships should form the basis of mental health care, but instead many service users feel completely alienated from the staff who are supposed to be helping them. The first time I went into hospital, I was sectioned. This in itself posed a huge barrier. They had power over me. It felt like a prison. I was put on my own, as if in solitary confinement, in a small room, and my possessions were searched. I think they were looking in case I had tablets to take an overdose with. My door was left open, just a chink. Outside there was always someone sitting on a chair, my jailer, reading a book or a magazine, presumably trying to make sure that I didn't escape. Every so often, my jailer would look in and check that I was behaving, and then go back to her reading. If I wanted the toilet, she would wait outside and then escort me back to my room. All night long they kept up their watch, shining a torch every 15 minutes in my eyes to see whether or not I was asleep. I certainly wasn't by the time they'd finished. Every now and then someone different would come in and ask me questions. It felt like a criminal interrogation. I didn't feel able to trust any of them, and basically I just said nothing at all. They got cross with me because I wouldn't talk, cross with me because I wasn't taking part in the occupational therapy, cross because I wasn't eating. Basically, I felt blamed for everything. They kept saying that since I was intelligent, I shouldn't be like this, and that I wasn't trying hard enough. As time went on, I felt more and more hopeless and isolated. I spent most of my time sitting silent and motionless on my bed in my own personal hell. Looking back, I can see that they were frustrated because they didn't know what was going on with me and therefore how they could help. So it was actually my own fault that during that first year of being in hospital, I was given virtually every sort of tablet known to man and lots of sessions of ECT. Finally, they gave up on me and sent me to the dormitory upstairs. The main advantage of this was that it was a long way from the nurse's office, and I no longer had my own personal jailer. At about this time, another university student was admitted into the hospital, and she ended up in the same dormitory as me. She was quite high at the time, but a very warm and caring person. She made a point of coming to sit beside me on my bed, just holding my hand and talking gently. As a result of her love and encouragement, I gradually started saying things to her, the first words I'd uttered for a long time. We had great chats, and to this day we are very close friends. She often tells the story of one day when a staff member asked her what she had been doing. She said she'd been chatting with me. The staff member was astonished and said, "You can't mean that. She doesn't talk." Part of my difficulty in trusting staff, of course, was the result of my illness and the strange, distressing things that were going on in my head. But I do think it could have been better if the attitude of the staff to me had been a little different. Compulsory treatment is very disempowering, unique, of course, to psychiatry, and sometimes necessary. Having a jailer is frightening and makes you feel you've done something very wrong. Feeling blame for everything compounds the situation. When they finally give up on you, any vestige of self-esteem or hope vanishes. It would have been better if they had been less confrontational. If my jailer had perhaps sat with me and tried to comfort me. If staff could have been a bit more patient, trying to get alongside and understand how things were for me, and perhaps finding a few suitable things for me to do. My sentence could perhaps then have been shorter. But I still say that without the care of my devoted friend day after day, I might still be sitting on that hospital bed.